calling to say I
Hello, everybody, and welcome. We're back. Round 2 of the Formula Racing League's Taco Tuesday event. Yeah, this is, as I said, round 2 of season 16. We're here at Paul Ricard today. I'm excited for this one. The first race last week was epic, and we're back now for the second race. This is where a lot of the questions are going to get, or start to get answered. Not a lot of them are going to get answered, but obviously, some people showed early pace. We had one driver, Zampolini, get on pole last week, but that pole didn't turn into a good result in the race day. So can he, get pole again? Can he win this time? Aresh, who was like dominant, I think he won by about 40, 50 seconds. Can he continue that dominance into Paul Ricard? There were quite a few drivers, I'd say, that probably were slightly out of position or just didn't have the pace that they've shown in previous seasons. And obviously, and what I know of them directly myself as well. So, yeah, there's a lot of questions about whether they can up their speed to match the level of the drivers in this championship. So, and and obviously, hopefully, we'll see some new podium sitters. I'm just, been having a look at practice and stuff, and obviously, there's a lot of familiar names in there. But there's also a few improved names on there, which I'm looking forward to. I'll go over all that kind of stuff in qualifying in a minute. But just to sort of jump through to the calendar here. So we are now on round 2, like I said, of the 6-round championship. We were at Misano last week. If you missed the race, you can go back and watch it on the Formula Racing League's YouTube channel. I'm sure it's in there somewhere, one of the tabs. But if you're here live today, we are at Paul Ricard, round 2. This is January the 21st. This is a standard race. Obviously, there are two special event races. One was the first race of the season, which was the 100-minute 2 pit stop race. This will be one of the standard format races, which is just 60 minutes. And it'll just be 1 pit stop. And then we will, then the next special event is the round 4 at Watkins Glen. So we're after the Red Bull Ring next week on the 28th, and then Watkins Glen on the 4th of Feb. And that's going to be, like I said, the second 100-minute 2 pit stop race. But today's format will be 60 minutes, 1 pit stop. It is a mandatory stop for tyres. Fuel's optional, but normally when you're pitting for tyres, you add fuel anyway, because there's no, because in the time it takes you to fill up your car, it doesn't take as much time with the tyres. So, we'll talk about strategies in a little while. But, I'm looking forward to Paul Ricard today. It's an interesting track in the sense that it's got 2 kind of technical sectors, which sort of benefit high downforce setups. And then, obviously, you've got that really long straight in sector 2, which obviously will... anyone that's going to run a low downforce setup will obviously go flying past. We'll see a lot more overtakes there. It was quite, there was quite a lot. Well, I say not a lot of overtakes at Misano. So I think we'll see a lot more based off of just the track layout at Paul Ricard. Obviously, we do also have the chat open on YouTube. So if you are watching and you want to come and say hello, obviously feel free to chat throughout the race, and I'll be more than happy to answer any of your questions or just listen to your opinions, because I have my own opinions and they're not always right, I'll tell you that. But so going back to the first race of the season, obviously we are covering the tier 1, which is the sort of this, we call it the pro season, and then obviously there is another tier 2 going on as well at the same time simultaneously to this. They are also racing at Paul Ricard, and that is just for sort of the more entry level drivers or drivers that are just getting into ACC. obviously champions of past tier twos have moved on to and are currently racing in tier one. So yeah, good luck to everyone in the tier two side of things. But in tier one, like I said, it was a good race at Misano, and we're just going to quickly go and have a look at the standings here. So as you can see, as I mentioned, Aresh was the dominant driver in race one at Misano. He took home the full 40 points, and like I said, I think it was about 40-second win as well. So 40 points, 40-second lead. He just a lot of the drivers around him all had drive-through penalties, and he didn't actually get one himself. So yeah, we lucked out in that sense. Because obviously Misano's got quite a long pit lane as well. So yeah, he just stayed out of trouble, kept it clean, and obviously came home with a win. Van den Ham just beat Simon into second place. As you can see there, Van den Ham with 39 points. The good thing about this championship is as well is that there is only 1 point between each position, and also you get 1 point for the fastest lap. So Simon, who did look like he was going to be on course to potentially get second or maybe even challenge Aresh for the win, he got a drive-through penalty and had to fight his way back through the field. So that's why he finished in third. And then King, who had a good race in the McLaren, he finished in fourth place with 37 points. And then we have Vincent Lodder, who finished in fifth. He also has the same points as King because he actually finished with the fastest lap of the race. You will see Lodder as V-spec on the timing screens, but we'll go that one later on. And one of my drivers of the day that I thought had a good race last week was Kaspari. He is sixth in the championship currently with 35 points after one race. Rogers and Roberts in seventh and eighth. They are 34 and 33 points. And then we have obviously Nelson and Wazza, who had a good race as well, rounding out the top 10. So I expect there to be a lot of changes in that table this week. I don't know. One, like I mentioned earlier in the preview, is I think Zampolini did get on pole and he did have good pace last week. So I think if he can stay out of trouble on turn one, lap one this time, I think you will see Zampolini challenging Aresh for that race win. And based off what I'm seeing in practice, he is looking quick, like I said, but there was a lot of quick drivers out there. I think, there's about second within the top 10. So again, we should have a really exciting qualifying session and we should have a really exciting race. Anyone that did watch the race last week or didn't, I think we said that between first and what was it, like 30 seconds was separated by something ridiculous, like 2 seconds. The times between all the drivers was absolutely mental. So I think again, if you make one slip up in practice, in qualifying, that is going to sort of make your race a lot harder, because what we did find even with Zampolini is that he had that incident in turn 2 of lap 1, and then he just, although he was the fastest driver out there, because all of the cars were within like 1 to 2 seconds of each other, he just couldn't get back through, because obviously you need to have quite an outright pace differential to actually overtake the cars ahead. So I think we will see a bit of that today as well. To go over, we have got a new thing we're going to start doing. I don't know how accurate this information is, but we have got track guides now. So as I said, we are at Paul Ricard today. So as you can see, I don't know if these times are correct, but obviously, Paul Ricard is a 13 corner track. It says that the in real life record is a 153.7. Vermeulen set the ACC lap record with 153.8. That says 20 or the 23 Ferrari, but I do think that time's going to get absolutely blitzed today. So if that is the lap record, I will say that is going to get hammered pretty quickly today based off of what I'm seeing in practice. And then it says the pit stop time, if you are pitting for tyres, is about 1 minute 13 seconds. So if you can see that it's a 1 minute 50 lap and you're doing a 1 minute 13 pit stop, it's going to be quite crucial that you attack that pit entry. And I think you probably will see a few drive-through penalties for that as well. Estimated lap times, they're saying with fuel on a 60-minute lap is about 153.6. This is what I'm saying. So the estimated lap time is a 153.6 for a 31 lap 60-minute race, and Vermeulen's fastest lap record was a 153.8. So that has to be an error. Maybe it's a 151. Maybe. I don't know if anyone in the YouTube chat can confirm that. That doesn't seem right to me. But and then we'll go over to the track guide itself. So you can see the 3 sectors, like I said. So the first sector and the third sector, which is the blue and the red, you can see a quite twisty technical parts of the track. Now, sector 1 does have a few fast straights before it starts to get technical. So if you do have that low downforce setup, you will be able to capitalize a little bit in sector 1, but you can see out of turn 7 that really long straight that goes down the whole back end of Paul Ricard. So yeah, anyone with a low downforce setup will go flying down there, and there'll be a lot of overtakes, like I said. And then you get into the final sector, which has got big, long, sweeping corners. Now, although the low downforce setups can potentially do well here, you might find the rear end slipping out, or going wide or whatever. So there'll be two contrasting setup differences today. There'll be people that are running the low downforce for the straight line speed, and then there'll be the people running the high downforce. Probably the Porsche, for instance, that will just obviously capitalize in sectors 1 and 3. So we will see, a few different dynamics there. But I do think that this track does favor those low downforce setups. So I think you will see a lot of people running quite a low wing. But I may be proved wrong. Who knows? We're just about wrapping up in practice now. So we will switch over to qualifying in a moment. Yeah, I think, like I said, if that 153 is the lap record here, whatever, that can't be right. So I think that's going to get smashed today. But I am looking forward, like I said, because there's about 10 or so cars that are all, quite closely together. And I think that's, we're going to see very close qualifying times. I'm just trying to work out who's coming out of the pit lane first, and then we'll try and catch them out there. I think it might be... There we go. So I'm just going to switch over to the main broadcast now. So as we go over, we are running with, I think it is, I don't know who's out there in first. Is it, Caruana? I don't know if Caruana was in the race last week. I don't know if anyone in the chat can confirm that. But like I said, we are out with Caruana first. Now, I think one of the qualifying rules, just to mention, is I don't think there's no overtaking allowed in qualifying. So I think, obviously, that Caruana will go out there and, he'll set the first flying lap, hopefully. A lot of cars coming out early doors, still a lot of cars in the pit lane. They're all trying to spread themselves out. And anyone in the chat wants to sort of hazard a guess who they think might get on the podium, also on the front row of the grid, and obviously who might get a podium in today's race. I am thinking that we will see a revived Zampolini. The big question, I suppose, that a lot of people will be asking is, can Aresh have that dominance again in race 2? And I'll be interested to see if anyone, because obviously Zampolini looked like he did have that 1 lap pace, so he'll be the man to beat in qualifying. As we do come around, like I said, to the last sector here. So this is where they're going to start to space themselves out a little bit. Caruana will get the first flying lap in. We do also have more camera angles today, so we can obviously ride in car with these guys today. And we will obviously be able to provide better action, because I know that was one of the feedbacks from the last race, and we didn't switch the camera angle too much. But obviously I have now got a new setup, so we are improving every single week. And obviously one thing we will cover as well later on is we will be doing some driver spotlights on people that are Patreon supporters, which means they'll get a bit of screen time, and obviously we'll go through their statistics and stuff and have a chat about certain drivers. You can see a few drivers queuing up in the pit lane. They're going to have to try and wait a minute to try and squeeze and find a gap there, so it's not ideal coming out. Obviously the one thing about the 60-minute format is that qualifying goes from 15 minutes to 20 minutes, so there is more time for people to go out there and set times. But like I said, we will ride with Caruana as he comes around and sets his first flying lap. He does have a couple of cars ahead of him, but I don't know if they will, but I presume they'll just get out of the way. You don't want to be getting any kind of penalties post-race, especially if you have a good race. But I don't know if Caruana was racing last race. I need to check on that. Going on the standings, was he around last week? I don't know if he was. I'm just looking through the standings. I can't see him on there, so I think maybe this will be his first race of the season. So I'll be curious to see how he gets on. Like I said, I think we'll probably see 152s maybe in I think we'll see 152s. It's kind of the aim for pole position here. I don't know if we'll creep into the 151s. I'm not sure, but so when we have a look at Caruana's first lap, obviously we'll start to go around a little bit and have a look at some of the other drivers. But we also, as customary, we will ride with the first driver out there. We'll see what kind of time he can set, and then we'll start to get an idea of where we're going in this race today. So we've just come around the last couple of corners now. I also have to apologise as well. I am recovering from a cold, so my voice isn't as great as it will, and I probably might have a few coughing fits as the day goes on, but I'll try my best. But as Karen Costline is, it's a 154.9, so I think that's going to get hammered quite quickly. As you can see, Hooper goes straight in with a 153.6. Van den Ham, who was a, I said, second place finisher last week, goes, he goes, about half a second back now on Zampolini. Zampolini, I did say, was going to be the man to beat in qualifying. Sets a 153.2. I fully expect that to be tumbling down. V-Spec coming across the line as well. He's just shy of that 153.2 in the 153.3s. As these times start to come, as you can see, Serpentine is, he set a time about 3.3 seconds back. Kaspari as well. So these drivers are probably just setting a banker lap, and you will see those times start to tumble down. I always said it's probably good for you to set a banker lap, so you've definitely got a time on the board. As you can see, Grace popping into P5 here. He is about a second down. DeAngelis as well, second down. So you get that banker lap in, and then you can start to be a bit more aggressive. You might see some drivers go out for a few laps, come back in, change their tyres, and then go back out for another little stint. So fully expect like 2 different segments of qualifying here. But it is Zampolini that does take that first initial sort of fast lap there with the 153.2. But I do expect those times, like I said, to tumble down into the 52s. Kravec here, sorry, with a 1.1 seconds off the pace. As you can see, Fast R goes in 1 second as well off the pace. Radic 1.5 seconds back. Sorry, I apologise now. I've got my controller's just turned itself off. Sorry, just had a bit of a malfunction there, but there you go. So we have Radic there. He's still 1.5 seconds back. Just have a look there. Brown 1.9 with the NSX here. So there should be 4 NSXs in this championship, but I don't know how many are racing today. I think there was a couple that there's been a few withdrawals last minute. I don't think Naisbit, for instance, is into today's race. Sharp, who was one of the other NSX drivers, he's currently P11, 1.2 seconds back. Anyone in the chat that wants to sort of suggest who they think might potentially get on the podium or even on pole position, let me know. But back up at the front, it said it is still Zampolini with that 153.2. King's got in 1 second off the pace as well, so he was the 4th place finisher last week. So so he'll be looking to try and sort of make sure he at least gets in the top 10 in qualifying. Rogers popped up here to P8. Rogers was a bit of a bottleneck last week. He was racing really well, but he had a big train of cars behind him. And then we have Tulloch here popping up into P5 as well. He's doing quite well in the Ford Mustang. Now Tulloch and who was it? So Sharp were 2 drivers that I did say were going to potentially do well this season based on their last season's form. They didn't do too well, I'd say, in race 1, so I think we will expect a bit more from them today. As we can see, DeAngelis now has popped up into P3. So he's shown a bit of pace there. He's now gone 0.4 seconds back, so that's a good bit of speed from him. Down at the back of the grid, though, there are still a few drivers, including the championship leader, I'll say Aresh, that was on there. So he is out there currently trying to set a time at the minute. So Aresh, who did win race 1, I think he qualified in P2 in the first race of the season as well. But based off of Tulloch's time, I think the Ford Mustang will potentially have... it looks like he has got a bit of pace out here. We will ride with Resh for a second to see if he can set his first flying lap. I don't know if he's just setting himself up now or whether he is going to set initial time. But there is still Prentice, Llewellyn, and Kopsch. All these drivers did have relatively good first races. So as we can see, Resh now has set a time. So where does he go in the timings? He goes up to P2. There you go. So he is literally... I say as he does that, Zampolini then does extend his lead to a 153.0. So Aresh, who was just close to Zampolini's time, does now fall back to 0.2 of a second behind, as V-Spec then does bump Aresh down into P3. So V-Spec here looking like he's got a bit more pace today, and he's looking quite racy alongside Zampolini there. The Ferraris, I think, are quite good around this track. But down at the back, like I said, we do have a few drivers that still have yet to set times. Kaspari here, 3.1 seconds down. One of the top 10 finishers from round 1. He is going to have to try and find a bit more pace if he is going to challenge. Again, Wazza, who finished 10th in the race 1. We did think the Bentley was going to have a good day around Paul Ricard, but at the minute, he's just shy of 3 seconds off the pace. So I think, unless he's going to set a flying lap now, but he does need to find something in that Bentley to kick himself up the order. Currently in P31. We'll just save him as he crosses the line, see if that does improve his time up. He does go up to P26, 1.7 seconds off the pace. But as we said here, all the qualifying times are so close together. Pospisil here, we can see, P25, 1.6 seconds back. We still have about 10, so just a shy of 11 minutes of qualifying left. So there's still lots of time for these drivers to adjust their qualifying times here. But back up at the front is still Zampolini with the 1:53.0. V-Spec 2/100ths of a second behind Arash, then 2/10ths back with DeAngelis, 6/10ths back with Hooper just behind P5 currently. There's 3 drivers that are 6/10ths back, and then it is Harry Palmer in 7th in the Fords. There's actually 3 Fords in the top 10 here. Tulloch currently sat in P8. Caruana, who is found a bit of speed in that second lap, he is now only 0.7 seconds off of the front runners. Van den Ham, who said did finish second in race 1, he is currently sat in P10. We have to go all the way down to Kravec in 14th if you want to get outside of a second. Roberts, who looked pretty racy in the first race of the season, he is just shy of a second off the pace as well. Sharp now only 0.8 back in the Honda. Brown here, I think it looks like there's only 2 Hondas today. We've got a few Porsches. I don't know if the Porsches will have a great day today. So I do say that, but Radic is there 0.7 of a second back in P6. But Radic, I think, did have a good qualifying session last time, but he just found himself tumbling down the order come race time. Arash has shaved a bit of time. Actually, I say that Zampolini just broke into the 152s with a 152.9. V-Spec is 6/100ths back, and then Arash obviously did improve his time, but again is still about 2/10ths off the pace. So it looks like it's those 3 drivers that are kind of in a race of their own at the front, and then it is then DeAngelis then who's leading the rest of the field. But like I said, now it is down to P14 if you want to get less than a second. If you want to go down to less than 2 seconds off the pace, you'd have to go down to P30 with Nelson. Now Nelson, who did finish 10th in race 1, ninth in race 1, will want to probably improve his qualifying time. We'll stay with him obviously for the next few corners and see if he does improve back up from P30. Wazza, like I said, Wazza and Nelson, who finished 9th and 10th, they're currently P27 and P30. But normally, like I said, if you qualify 1.8 seconds off of the pole time, you're normally somewhere near the front. But in the Pro Division, in Tier 1 of the FRL Taco Tuesday Series, every single second counts, as you can see. So Nelson improves by 0.4 of a second, and he only goes up 6 places. So he's 1.6 seconds off the pace, and he's in P24. Now Llewellyn here, you can see he's in P23, 1.6 back, and then Prentice, who is one of the good drivers of race 1, finds himself in P22. So a lot of the big names from race 1 are down the order slightly. A lot of the top 10, like I said. So I do think we'll see a lot of movement in that top 10 order going into week 3. But Kaspari here has found a bit of time. He is now only 1.1 seconds back. Still in P17 though, and he will have to find a bit more if he is to break into the top 10. And we now see anyone else improving at the front here. So it is still Zampolini with the 152.9. V-Spec has got close, but not close enough. And it is still DeAngelis in 4th. But what we can see now is Van den Ham has improved his qualifying time up into P5. And then he has Hooper just behind him. Hooper was P5, now down to P6. Radic still holding strong in that Porsche. That Porsche will probably get eaten alive in the straight lines of this track come race time. Tulloch still holding on to a top 10 finish here in qualifying, currently P9 with Harry Palmer just ahead. He's about 7/100ths down, so I think he will try and find a bit more time out here. Sharp doing quite well in the Honda. Currently 0.8 back. It looks like someone has just improved their time now. I've missed who it might have been. Was it Fast R going up to P11, 0.8 seconds back? And that means now you have to go down to P15 in order to get less than a second. That is crazy, guys. So the top 15 are separated by 1 second. I mean, that is the level that we are facing here in the Tier 1 of the Taco Tuesday series. You literally, if you can shave even 1/10 or 2/10 off of your time, you'll move up a few places. But 15 cars separated by a second is an absolutely insane statistic here in qualifying. I think, yeah, so Zampolini, V-Spec and Aresh are all still out there now. All drivers are out there with 6 minutes to go. So I think there's only one, so there's 2 cars in the pit lane currently. But I think we have a, I don't know if Gedman came in late here, but he is currently 2.4 seconds back. So the slowest time, if you think about this, if you take this into account for a second, so Gedman, who currently has the slowest time in qualifying, is only 2.4 seconds off of the pole time. So you're 2.4 seconds off the pace and you are 35th. So it is insane qualifying standards here. And it's, yeah, even Paulson in 34th is only 2.1 seconds off the pace. Serpentine here is currently P33. And then we have Van den Waal in P32. And then Duran currently in P31. Big shock here, like I said, it is Wazza. Wazza in that Bentley just cannot seem to get it fired up. He is currently in P29. And Nelson, like I said, who did finish in the top 10 as well, he's currently in P25. So this is going to give so many people an opportunity to get up the order. Rayner, who, yeah, he looked like he had good race pace last week, but he just didn't seem to... I think he had a few incidents out there. And Kopsch, yeah, I think apparently Kopsch is one of the faster drivers here in this division. But I think, yeah, he just didn't have a great race last week. And, yeah, currently only 1.2 seconds off the pace. But here at Paul Ricard, that means there's a P21 finish currently. We now have another driver's popped into there somewhere. I think, is it, I'm trying to find who's popped in there now. Is it Rogers? Rogers has gone up to P5. That's a great qualifying lap by Rogers here in the 5.12 Ford Mustang. Now goes exactly 0.6 of a second off of Zampolini's time. Zampolini cannot seem to get any better than a 1:52.9. I do know he has better race pace or pace than that. I saw it in practice. But yeah, Rogers here, when it matters, has popped up into P5, and that'll be bad news for a lot of the drivers that were following him last week. Because, yeah, he is a hard man to pass. As we can see now, Kaspari has found the speed in that Audi. Like I did say, he did have good pace last week. He was always in and around the top 10. And Kaspari here has popped himself up into P5. And there we go. That's the time I was talking about. So Zampolini now has set a 1:52.6. He's now broken 0.4 of a second off of V-Spec. And Aresh now half a second down. So Zampolini stamping his authority in qualifying. Yeah, he's now yeah, half a second clear of P3. He's 0.8 clear of P4, Van den Ham. And then we have Grace now popping him to P5. That's a good qualifying lap by him. Kaspari now in P6. And yeah, Rogers P7, DeAngelis P8. There's now only a minute ago, there were 16 drivers within a second of the pole lap. There is now only 8. So Zampolini showing you that he does have pace in that Aston Martin. He is going to be a force this week. And if he can just stay out of trouble, Zampolini may well be on his way to getting his first win of the season in round 2 at Paul Ricard. Let's see if anyone else is doing anything crazy out there at the minute. Has Wazza improved at the back? He was... Where is he? I've lost his time now. Has he gone up the order somewhere? Oh no, Wazza, so I'm on his thing. Yeah, so Wazza still 2.1 seconds back in that Bentley. I don't know if he's out there qualifying at the minute. I think he may well be sat in the pit lane. And Llewellyn as well. Yeah, Llewellyn looked pretty good in race 1. He is currently sat in P25 in qualifying. And King as well, if you look, he's P21. So these drivers are going to have to start finding some time with 2.5 minutes to go. Now, anyone that's new to ACC, like I said, if you do cross the line with 1 second to go, you are allowed to complete that final lap. As we can see, King sliding that McLaren into the final sector. Yes, if you do have crossed the line with 1 second to go, you can complete your next lap. So there's still time if people want to quickly get out of the pit lane and set one more time. There is still the option to do so. So let's see, back up at the front. It is still Zampolini with the fastest lap out there. He has a 1:52.6. He is coming around now, but yeah, so obviously it's 1 minute 52 to set a lap time. It's 1 minute 30 left, so he's crossing line now. This will be his last flying lap. So he's going to have one more crack at the whip. V-Spec is out there as well. Now he is around come around the back end of the track. I don't know if this will be his last flying lap as well. We'll keep an eye on that one. And where is Aresh on the track? So Aresh is coming around now. So when he crosses the line, that'll be his last flying lap as well. So this is a chance now for people to, like I said, set their last potential pole times. Although you're going to have to find something special if you are going to catch up with Zampolini's 1:52.6. As Aresh crosses the line, is he now setting a new lap, or is he? Yeah, so he's on a flying lap now. So we're down to the last minute of qualifying. So the drivers all come around the last sector now. They're all going to set themselves up for their last qualifying lap. Caruana, actually, he is now up to P6, only 0.8 of a second off the pace. So he might be a man to keep an eye on this race. And like I said, Grace as well setting a good time. He's only 0.8 of a second back, but he's now in the pit lane, so he's not going to have another opportunity to set a time. Van den Ham coming around the track now. He will have one more lap if he has got enough in the car. We can see the number 1 car, V-Spec. He's coming around the last sector now. So is he going to make it? Let's ride with V-Spec now, because he might be the first driver to actually close out qualifying. So if he's timed this to perfection, he will get one more lap in. But he's coming out. Yeah, he will. He'll just have one more lap. So V-Spec, actually, I think he was one of the last drivers to cross the line last time. I think he's really, really good at doing this. But with 5 seconds to go, is he going to make it? He's coming up to the line now. 2 seconds to go. Has he done it? He does. I think he just crosses the line to set a flying lap at the end of qualifying. So that's a fantastic effort for him to get across there. You can see Hooper has qualified, finished qualifying. He is going to, well, the best position he's going to hope for now is 9th place. But he's going to be watching a few drivers and seeing where he ends up. I see Gedman here setting his last lap. He stays P30. We have, I'm going to try and catch a lot of these cars. Serpentine here, P27 currently on his last flying lap as he crosses the line. Can he improve? He goes, no, he stays P27 here. We do have the 713 car. Is that, no, I don't know. Where's the 713? That is Caruana. No, he's opted to go into the pit lane. Looks like as well, Aresh might have defaulted his lap. I will stay with him, but I don't think, yeah, so he's going in the pits as well. So he's not going to improve. So it looks like it is only V-Spec now that is going to have an opportunity. We have, was that the 98 car? Is that Radic? So Radic, you see, got a bit more pace. So he was 11th place. Can he break into the top 10? He's coming across the line now, and as he crosses the line, he goes P10. There you go. So he has improved by at least 1 position, but there will still be a few more cars coming along to go yet. There was a 134 car. That was Brown. Brown goes P17. That'll be his qualifying over. The 696 car of Fast, he was P12, and as he crosses the line, he stays P12. Then we have the 717 car of Hymans. Hymans is currently P20, but it looks like he has opted to finish his lap. So we think we probably will just now ride with Van den Ham. As Van den Ham comes up to the line, he was P4. Has he found out? He's opted to go in the pits as well. So it looks like that is qualifying over then, guys. So V-Spec must have not improved his lap time. So it is Zampolini with the 1:52.6 that does get pole position. Like I said, he was 4 tenths faster than anybody else out there. And that is a 2 pole positions in a row. Now we don't get. I'm just gonna switch over to this screen now. So we don't get a extra point for pole position, but you do get an extra point for the fastest lap. So yeah, Zampolini there with a great qualifying lap. It is V-Spec though that does. I think it was Aresh that got P2 last week. V-Spec has shown he has got speed in that Ferrari. He will go alongside Zampolini down into the first corner, and then Aresh will have to line up alongside Van den Ham on the second row. Caruana, who wasn't racing last week, does find himself up into P6. We have a familiar name in Kaspari and Rogers. They're 7th and 8th. I was speaking to Hooper before the race today, and he did say that he didn't have a lot of speed in that McLaren. Well, he's P9, so let's see what he can do come race time. And Radic rounding out the top 10 in that Porsche. I don't know how the race pace of that Porsche is going to go, but that was quite an epic qualifying. Attended Genie in the chat saying, hey, mate, couldn't get the time. Well, he's saying he couldn't get the time, but he was P9 in the race, so... I said, so attended Genie in the chat is Hooper, the number 441 McLaren. He's saying he didn't get the time, losing 4 tenths in sector 3. So that would have taken him up into, well, potentially the second row. So attended Genie here, or Hooper, saying that he does potentially have the speed and the pace, to get on to the podium. That would be awesome. He's saying the midfield is very tight. It is. Yeah, just looking at the timing screens now, and we'll go over it in a bit. But yeah, Hymans, who finished P20, only 1.4 seconds off the pace. So insane qualifying times by these guys. But remember, today there is only one pit stop, so you will see a lot of interesting strategies. It is also worth noting that the pit window is 58 minutes, which means you can't pit on the last lap. Presumably you probably can pit on the first lap because it would take more than a minute to go around the first lap. So you may see people going in on lap 1. You may see people pitting halfway through. You may see people pitting at the end. I'm not sure what the best strategy is here. I would say because you have to change your tyres, it's mandatory. So really, if you're going to change your tyres, you might as well pit about halfway through because then you can maximise. Well, one, you can have a lower fuel load. You'll have fresher tyres for both halves of the race. It does mean you might have to deal with a bit of traffic. So if you are fast, like Zampolini, you might find him staying out for longer stints because obviously if he's got the pace anyway, he'll just stay out for a bit longer and then obviously keep himself out of trouble. Because remember, if you are pitting for tyres, which everyone will have to, the pit stop here is 1 minute and 13 seconds. Let's say 1 minute, 1 minute 15, 1 minute 20. So yeah, you're gonna have to really attack that pit board, and also you're just going to have to try and stay out of trouble. So it's yeah, you don't want to be having to pit out of position because you've had a crash or whatever. It was relatively clean last week, I think. I don't know if there's a lot of penalties thrown about, but I didn't see many crashes. And the good thing about Paul Ricard is there's so many runoffs. So I don't think, even if you get into a bit of trouble, you can just run off the track a little bit. So I'm hoping we're not going to see too many collisions in the first corner. So Zampolini is just going to be hoping he gets himself out of trouble, because it was last week I think it was turn 2 he got bumped off onto the or he just took a wide turn onto the gravel. He just couldn't get back through. So Attendagino thinking that he has got the pace here, so we'll look out for Hooper in P9, and then we'll keep an eye on the rest of the the rest of the field and see what's going on. I'll try and cover as many people as I can. Like I said, we will have better camera angles today as well. We've got about 38 seconds to go until the start of the formation lap. So I will take this opportunity to quickly grab a drink, and then I'll be back in 1 moment. I'll switch over to the main broadcast here. And like I said, we will run with, we'll go through the order. But I'm going to go back to the main broadcast now, and I'll
20 seconds.
I'll be back in 1 moment, guys.
Ten seconds.
Thank you for bearing with me there, guys. So like I said, if you are in the chat and you want to have if you are in the YouTube chat and you want to have a chat today, then obviously feel free to hop in, and I'll do my best to have a chat with you throughout today. But yeah, we've just got just going on the back straight now. It is just, we'll take a moment to quickly mention that, as I said, today there will be a we will cover a few drivers specifically that are Patreon supporters, and we will run them through some of their last season statistics, and we'll go through a lap for each one of the drivers to give a bit of screen time. So if you do want to get a bit more airtime and have a bit more of a showcase about yourself, then obviously you can hop on and you can commit any kind of money to the Patreon. Obviously, I will do my best to support you on stream if you support FR out off stream. Obviously, there is a lot of hard work that goes in behind the scenes with the guys here. There's obviously a lot of cost involved in running the servers and all the graphic design, the broadcasters, etc., etc. There's a lot of funding involved. So obviously, every single penny that you guys support does help maintain these awesome broadcasts and obviously these awesome communities. So yeah, if you do hop onto the FRL Discord, find the Patreon link, and obviously if you can support, that would be fantastic. We will ride with a few drivers today, like I said, and yeah, do a bit of a showcase on certain drivers. But back to the race. So on pole, like we said, is Zampolini. V-Spec is in second place. We have Aresh in third, alongside Vanden Ham in fourth. Grace and Caruana round out the third row in the BMW and the McLaren. Kaspari and Rogers are in 7th and 8th. Hooper and Radic are 9th and 10th, with DeAngelis and Fast are in 11th and 12th. We have Roberts and Sharp in 13th and 14th, with Palmer and Tullock in 15th and 16th, and all Ford row there. We have oh, so I've just gone to the wrong screen now. I'm gonna have to stay on the screen for a minute now. That happens sometimes, but I have to find what's the right with Aresh for a second. But oh yeah, we'll run you through the rest of the order as it goes on. But when you accidentally click the wrong button, you go into this screen, which is annoying. But it's we'll just put on to the, I'm trying to find the, there you go. We'll go back here a second, but I can't go back on to the main screen until the race starts, but I will be quick when we do it. Yeah, so we do have, I think, 35 drivers out here today. So it should be quite an interesting race. So there will be a lot of overtakes. They are now coming around. I think this is the last corner now into the right-hander. Like I said, and I will then switch to the return to garage, and we can obviously cover the drivers at the front. So apologies for pressing the wrong button here. But you can see here that it's, yeah, Zampolini does hold the inside line. It is V-Spec that holds the outside line, and it's a 60-minute race in. It's green lights, go, go, go. We are going to run back here with Zampolini. He does hold the inside line. That doesn't necessarily, is not necessarily an advantage here, because we said we do have the Ferrari alongside him here, but if we can, I would say the outside line will give you the better drive into the first corner. I think Aresh is going to try and dive down the inside and put pressure on V-Spec here. V-Spec does hold that line as well, and you can see Vanden Ham is going to try and look on to the back of Aresh, but it is actually Grace that's going to, sorry, not is it Grace, that Caruana, so he's going to dive down the inside here. Vanden Ham up into 4th place potentially. Vanden Ham holds the inside line, but if Caruana can stay there, he can maybe dive back down. He thinks better of it, but that might well be then that Grace is going to try and get, so there's no yellow flags there. I think one driver at the back, the 740, I have to see who that one is. Yeah, it just looks like he's a bit off the back here, but it is Zampolini that does survive in, obviously on that one. Obviously he did have issues last week. Aresh here driving up behind V-Spec, going into the big long straight into the sweeping right-hander. We will just ride with, as we can see here, that Aresh is going to try and dive down the inside. Is he going to try and get that move done? There's a big gap already with the front 3 drivers here. Aresh does go down the inside. V-Spec does go wide, and he does get that move done. So you can see Radic in the background as well there. He is side by side with what looks like Rogers. Rogers there making a move on Radic. So it looks like that might be 2 positions gained. Kaspari here just ahead. It says P9, but I don't know if he is P9 currently. It looks like he may have lost a place there. Grace here is trying to chase down. Is that Hooper ahead? Yeah, so Hooper's had a good start here. He's up into P6. So he did say he did have some pace here, and he has found it. Yeah, up now into P6 with Caruana in P5. So these the two McLaren drivers have had relatively good starts in 5th and 6th. Vanden Ham didn't manage to get past Aresh here, but Aresh, obviously, when we go across the timing screens, will move up into P2. But it is Zampolini that does have that second lead going into lap 2. And I just need to, before we get too carried away with this stream, I'm just going to quickly go into here so I can switch to get the keyboard controls back. So I will go back here now, so we should be able to then switch, like I said, to V-Spec. We should now have, yeah, the ability to look on different camera angles, so we can ride with V-Spec as he does chase down Aresh. This is a great angle. We're going to get far more action shots this time round, as you can see. I don't know what the straight line speed is, the Mustang versus the Ferrari, but if we can get, it's all about the drive at that right hander there, and you want to just make sure you don't scrub any speed going into the left hander. They will break up slightly, and then obviously you will then get, trying to see who's closer here. So it looks like does that Ford have a better run than the Aston Martin? The slipstream here is going to be so deadly. As these drivers, you can see, look at him, he's getting closer and closer and closer. I don't think he's going to be close enough to dive down the inside, but there will be so many overtakes as the race goes on. But we will, we're all going to have a look now. So it looks like Radic here is diving down the inside of Rogers. So this Rogers and Radic battle is going to go on for some time now. You can see as De Angelis trying to get involved. He is going to try and sweep around the outside of the Porsche. Now, is that Rogers and Radic just having a little tap there? That's going to put Rogers off a little bit as he goes a little bit wide. He tucks it back inside. And then you can see in the background there that Sharp as well having a look on the back of De Angelis. So there's a big long train of cars here. And it is starting with, actually it looks like Hooper here. So he's was he on right on the back of Caruana here? Yeah, he is. So this is another one that potentially is going to turn into quite a good race. As you can see, he's going to try and dive down the inside here as they almost touch. This is going to be a neck-and-neck race down the... he's flashing his lights there as he tries to sort of make a move on the other McLaren. These two drivers are going to be at it all day long. You can tell they've got similar pace here. Hooper gets the wider line. He is going to see if he gets. You can see he get a better run at that corner. He is going to be compromised going into the right-hander, but he's going to run all the way down to the right-hander here. And is he going to make a move? No, he's thinking better of it. He thinks he's just going to stay in, and maybe he's going to try and dive around the outside. So he's going to hold the outside line. What an opportunistic move. And it's going to allow Grace to potentially... Oh, Grace and Caruana bump into each other there. That's a big incident for Caruana because he is now going to fall down the order. And, Grace, I don't know if you can apportion blame there, but Grace now has knocked. We were robbed of a bit of a fight there, but Hooper is gonna. He's already 3.1 seconds off the back of the front four drivers. Aresh with the fastest lap currently, but Hooper now is gonna. We're gonna have a look at his time and see if he can maybe close that gap down. Not having a slipstream, but look at that train of cars behind. Is it Rogers again starting a bit of a train behind him? Is that Rajesh on Kaspari? So this is side by side here as well. We'll keep an eye on this one. This is, looks like Radic now moving up past Kaspari into P6. And that Audi is right on the back of that Porsche. And he is going to just hold on there. But last week Rogers was the bottleneck in around Massano. And it looks like it's going to be the same case again. He has De Angelis behind, and then Grace, then Sharp. And Rogers here is going to start to be a bit of a pain if they guys can't get past. But let's just ride back with Kaspari here and see if he's going to try and chase down that Porsche ahead. This is going to be a good battle. This is Audi versus Porsche. Now, like I said, Radic did have a good qualifying session last time out, but he didn't manage to make it work come race time. But here he is P6. He's having a good lap, a good race so far. And Kaspari, I think he finished P5 last time. I can't remember what the exact position was. I think I can find out. He was he finished P6, so he's currently in P7, so having a good race so far. Lewis Robinson in the chat saying evening. How you doing, Lewis? We're just gonna go back now and go over these guys. Let's see what else is going on here. So we can see at the front, Aresh has got past Zampolini. So apologies, we missed the overtake at the front. But Aresh now has taken the lead off of Zampolini. We did say that Aresh was mightily fast come race time, and he now finds himself up into P1 with the fastest lap of the race, and Zampolini will have to try and sit in behind. It is the slipstream effect here, as we can see V-Spec now trying to close in on that Aston Martin. Van den Ham is trying his best to hold on in P4, but it looks like he doesn't necessarily have the pace of the front three, but they're all using each other's slipstream to their advantage. You can see V-Spec here just so close to the back of the Aston Martin. He's not going to make a move this time. Van den Ham 1.7 seconds back. Hooper can't seem to find the pace to catch up with the front four drivers, and Radic now is closing in on the back of Hooper, so this could turn into a bit of a battle here between the McLaren, the Porsche and the Audi. Rogers is doing his best to hold on to the back of this sort of group, and then DeAngelis behind as well. He has Grace trying to hustle the back of that Ferrari. This is a battle for 9th and 10th. Roberts here is also in a battle with Sharp here. So that isn't Sharp. Who is that? Is that a back marker there? That car isn't in race order. I don't know. I need to work out which car that is, because that looks like maybe they potentially pitted early. We'll keep an eye on that one in a second. I think it is, yeah, Palmer. Palmer finds himself a lap down, does he? Or trying to work out what's happened there with the timing screens. I think maybe he's... has been an accident somewhere? We'll keep an eye on that one. And then we have, I think as it goes across, oh yeah, so Roberts has fallen down the order slightly, you can see there. So Kravach is in 14th. Brown currently in P15 here. Look at this train of cars. There's not even anything separating them. Tulloch here, currently in P16. He has Fast R behind him in P17. Looks like they didn't have a great start here, because I think Fast R was someone in the top 10. Prentice is in P18 currently, trying to chase down the guys ahead, but you kind of bit of a slipstream effect here, because obviously all these drivers are so close to each other on track. We can see Cropshire was just 0.1 of a second behind Hymans, who started in P20 in qualifying, currently in P19, so he's relatively where he started here. And you can see Caruana, who was one of the top drivers in the race, now finds himself down in P21. This is what we're talking about. Although Caruana is fast, everyone is fast come race time, so obviously it's going to be very hard for him to try and catch up and overtake people. You can see he is now hustling the back of the Ford of Copshire, so he is going to try and make a move going down into the sweeping right-hander. He is coming out into onto his own lane. Looks like he has got that move done before the corner, so he's going to dive down the inside, hold that line. Cox will just tuck in, and that is a 1 position gain for Caruana, who is in P20, but he is out of position in regards to where his relative race pace is. Poppersill is in P22 with Blair just behind. This is 22nd and 23rd here. And then we have Llewellyn trying to chase down Mertens here for P24, P25. And then I think, we also have a battle here for Van der Waal and Rayner. This is a battle for 26th and 27th. He has the Porsche Duran just behind as well, only 0.3 back. So there's a lot of battles going on around we have to keep an eye on. King not having a good race here. So King, who finished 4th in Misano, currently finds himself down in P30. That is such a bad position for King here. He just cannot, I don't know if he's had an accident or something, but even Wazza, who finished, P10 in the first race of the season, he is now P31. So this is 2 drivers that were in the top 10 of the championship after race 1, now find themselves down in the low 30 positions. Serpentine here, just trying to chase down these guys 1.1 second back, sorry. And actually, just to mention, we have Delhi here 1.5 seconds back again, and then obviously Paulson rounding out the rear. But actually, it's Gedman who has pitted on lap 1 or lap 2 by the looks of it. He now finds himself in P35, but he will obviously catch up when it does come to when it comes to obviously everyone else starts to qualify. I'm just so qualified when everyone else has to pit. But just mentioning here, Robert, is in P13, but he has a drive-through penalty. So he has already reached his track limit warnings. And after about, 3 or 4 laps, he now has a drive-through penalty. So that is not a good day for him, because as we said, there's quite a long pit lane at Paul Ricard, which means he is going to be tumbling down the order. Because look at the track map. Everyone is so close to the front. Aresh, though, still holds the lead here, but Zampolini right in behind. So these 3 drivers at the front, first, second and third, aren't actually necessarily pulling away from Van den Ham. Van den Ham is doing his best to hold on here. So this is, the second place finisher last week now finds himself in P4 here. But he can see the drivers ahead. But this little train at the front, this is a really good little battle. You can see here, V-Spec just behind. You can see both drivers ahead. This is a great little camera angle. V-Spec here can see both cars, so they're all using each other's slipstream to their advantage. Aresh just has enough speed. Look at that, they're separated by 0.6 of a second. All 3 of them separated by 0.6 of a second. So these 3 drivers are putting on a nice little show here. It's going to come down to maybe even the pit stops, because anyone that has a good stop, bad stop. But what we also don't know is how much fuel these drivers are going, because some of these drivers might be going doing long stints, and some of them might be doing they might obviously have only half a race worth of fuel in, so that might be why the pace is there. But look at this is such close racing. Although all 3 of these drivers, they're going to put on a show come the end of the race. It looks like that's going to be your podium contenders there, but Van den Ham, don't rule him out, because like I said, we might get some drive-through penalties. As you can see, Roberts has completed his drive-through penalty. Grace here is still trying to chase down DeAngelis and Rogers. Rogers is falling off the back of Kaspari now. He's 2 seconds back, and Kaspari is trying to hold on to the 3 drivers ahead. So there's a couple of battles going on. There's Aresh, Zampolini, V-Spec and Van den Ham in 1st to 4th. Hooper, Radic and Kaspari here in a battle for 5th, 6th and 7th. And then Rogers, DeAngelis and Grace, Palmer and Sharp. All of those drivers are in a little bit of a battle then. You can see there just with Rogers. So Rogers... You've got Rogers, DeAngelis, Grace, Palmer and Sharp. So again, if you look at Sharp's viewpoint here as well, so he can see all of those drivers ahead. That is Rogers, that is DeAngelis, that is Grace and Palmer. So again, this is a battle for 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th and 12th. So this is going to go on again for a lot more laps. But it might actually come down to the pit stops, because you can lose 5 seconds in the pit stops. Just by not being too cautious on the pit board, or like not because some people like do I think you can turn your engine off before you can coast into your pit box and stuff like that. So some people are a lot quicker at doing their pit stops than others. So it is worth just noting that anything can change. You can see just behind here. To be fair, the battle of the Hondas is in 12th and 13th currently, but Brown here is a bit of a he's got 3 cars behind him as well. So Tulloch and Kravec are trying to get past here. I don't know if a lot of these, it says Prentice was 1.2 seconds back. Yeah, he's caught up as well. So again, Brown has got a bit of a train of cars behind him as well. Look at that. That is pretty much all the way down. I think we saw Rayner in the distance. So if you go all the way back down to, let's have a look somewhere like, I think it is Mertens, is it? So Mertens here. Trying to work out how far that train goes back. There's quite a long old way, but all these drivers, literally, you could probably gain about 10 places in the pit stops. Look at the train of cars that these guys all got to contend with. But just so I don't want to miss up anything at the front. So back up at the front, Zampolini is starting to slightly fall off the back of Aresh, but I think that gap will close down. And Van den Ham has closed that gap by 0.6 of a second now. He is starting to creep in on the guys ahead. Hooper just cannot seem to keep up with the drivers ahead, and he has Radic just closing him in behind. But we'll take this moment, obviously, whilst the race is starting to unfold, to mention, like I said, we are going to be covering certain drivers because obviously we do have Patreon supporters. Obviously, these guys do commit to helping support financially the Formula Racing League. Obviously, by helping, they commit us some money. Obviously, we can pay for servers and broadcasting and things like that. So what we are going to do over the next few races is obviously anyone that does support Patreon, we will try and give them a bit of screen time. So riding with the first driver we're going to cover today, it is Andrew Tulloch. Andrew Tulloch currently finds himself in P15. He's in a bit of a race. He's got Prentice just putting pressure on behind him, and he has got, obviously, like I said, Brown, and I don't know if that is Kravec just getting ahead of Brown there ahead. But yeah, so Tulloch here, like I said, it is one of our Patreon supporters, and I just want to talk you through a little bit about last season, because like I said, Tulloch was going to be one of the drivers. Sorry, so just as I say that, Brown has spun around here. I don't know if he's been in a crash, but I just wanted to mention that whilst we were there. So Brown is going to fall down the order massively here. I don't want to miss that one while we're on there. But yeah, Tulloch last season, I think he finished 4th in championship. But we 5th in the championship last season. So here was last season, he competed in 9 races. He didn't win any, but he got 1 podium finish. He finished 6 times out of his 9 races in the top 10. He finished 5th with 239 points, and he raced the Ford last season as well. So Tulloch here, I said was one of the potential contenders to have quite a few podiums this season. Obviously, I don't think what he was accounting for was the fact that there's going to be a lot of fast drivers out there in this season's championship. But Tulloch finds himself here in P14 right now. I think he will. I think he will just consistently be in the top 15, top 10 this season. But I did think he was going to potentially be closer to the podium, podium places. But I do think, like I said, that it was because of the just the sheer pace. We've got people like Aresh and they obviously come in, and Zampolini and V-Spec and everyone like that. They have got really, really rapid. I think Van den Ham potentially is a new driver this season as well. But Tulloch is doing his best here. Like I said, he's in the 65 Ford Mustang in their lovely turquoise colours. He's trying to chase down here currently Kravec. And I think although he's P14 now, didn't he qualify in the top 10? I'm pretty sure he did. So he has got some pace out there. So I think once he gets past Quebec here, he will have about 4.8 second gap up to Sharp ahead. He did have Brown in that little battle as well, but I think obviously following that crash, there was a bit of a delay, and obviously there is a bit of a gap now between him and the rest of the field. But we will just ride with him and see if he can sort of close down that gap. He is currently just a second, so not what 9/100ths of a second, or 9/10ths of a second, sorry, behind. So as he gets a little bit of a wobble there, he hit. Yeah, I was going to say on that right hand there, if you take too much of that curb, you will obviously. I would say Paul Ricard is all about not scrubbing your speed too much. So you can see you went in a bit deep there as well. So you had to it compromised his left-hand turn. But you need to be aggressive on the curves, but not too much, because obviously these cars are quite slippy around here. And obviously what you want to do is not scrub any kind of speed as you're going around the lap, because obviously every single like those two corners there, you want to try and get on the power as quickly as possible, but you don't want to obviously scrub any, obviously if you scrub your speed, then obviously it's going to affect you all the way down the back straight. So he did manage to actually catch up by 1/10 of a second on Quebec there, but yeah, he isn't. I don't know if he's going to get this move done this lap, but I think if he just keeps putting pressure on the Quebec, we don't know. Obviously, I don't think we saw Quebec last race, so this is going to be a good chance for them to sort of, Quebec to sort of see what kind of minerals he's got when he's under a bit of pressure. But yeah, we'll come back and check on Tulloch later on. But yeah, he is one of our Patreon supporters, so thank you so much, Tulloch, and we will cover you a bit later on. Let's go and see back up at the front. Zampolini is still trying to chase down Aresh. It's Aresh Zampolini V-Spec battle. But like I said, Van den Ham is now closed it to him in a second. So he is now starting to creep up on those front three. And Radic here, actually, as well, he's actually got past Hooper, now up into P5. So Radic is having actually quite a good race here as well. And Hooper and Kaspari, like I said, there's three little battles going on here. And then Sharp here, I was just looking at this one as well. He's putting a bit of pressure on Palmer, but it looks like this is Rogers. We did say was a bit of a bottleneck here in the track, but he's not actually really, because De Angelis is actually falling off 1.3 seconds back, and he is now holding up Grace, Palmer, and Sharp. You need to kind of work together here as well, because the slipstream is so vital here. If you fall out of the slipstream, you are going to really struggle to keep up with the pace of the drivers ahead. Let's just see what else is happening down here as well. There's so many battles going on. So looking back here, this is Hyman's, and he slides out, and there's a big crash. We caught it at the right time. So was that an Audi there of Pospisil? He's been caught out massively. I think that was just an accident here. Oh, they've driven back into each other head first. So this has gone from bad to worse here for these drivers. Pospisil got caught out. It was no fault of his own, and then he obviously goes to straighten himself back up, and then that Ferrari comes out there and crashes into him head first. So that was a big crash we just caught there at the back end of it. I think it was just one driver losing control, and it caught everyone else out. So we were just going to have a look at these drivers, but that's really unfortunate. Just one of those things. In racing, sometimes accidents happen. I don't think there was any kind of intent there, but really unfortunate for those drivers, because they're going to have a lot of damage now. So Pospisil, who looks like he was potentially having a half-decent race there, now finds himself down into P32 with front-end damage, rear-end damage. We'll have to see how that all kind of shakes itself out there. But that's really unfortunate for those kind of guys. But it is quite... I think you can just see by the way they took that corner there, he hasn't got a lot of front downforce now. So you might have to pit this lap now. Roberts has managed to sort of fly past those guys. It says he's ahead of Wazza here. Is that right? Was Wazza one of the drivers that got caught up in that incident? I think we'll have to wait and see when they go past the next time screen to sort of shake that all out, because I don't know if that is right. If Roberts is ahead of Wazza now, so I think Wazza maybe was one of the casualties of that incident as well. But you have Wazza, who was one of the top 10 finishers. I think Roberts was in the top 10 last week as well. I don't know if he actually was he. I might have to have a check of that one. Did he finish in the top 10? Yeah, I think he finished P8 last week. So Roberts is down at P30. Wazza and Nelson down in P27. So it's going to be a great chance for people to get themselves up into the top 10. You can see here now Pospisil and Wazza both pitting, so they must have some damage from that one. Is worth mentioning as well. Blair down in P33, Delhi in P34. and Gedman in P35. These drivers have all pitted. So it is worth, let's just say with Delhi for a second, because he has got the race leaders in behind him here. So this is Aresh here, and he has, oh no, is that Zampolini making a move? So Zampolini is trying to make a move here. They do tap each other. Aresh is holding the inside line. Zampolini is going to have the inside line for the next corner, but he has now, is this going to be an overtake back for the lead of this race? I think, yeah, is Aresh going to hold the inside line for the next corner, and Zampolini, if he can just hold, no, it looks like he's not going to have enough. So Aresh does slam his brakes on there. Zampolini has to make a look at this. This is first, second, third, and fourth, separated by a second here, guys. Just go with Van den Ham for a minute. So Van den Ham here, he has now got, that is the Ferrari of V-Spec ahead of him. We have Zampolini on the left, Aresh on the right. This is first, second, third, and fourth, separated by less than a second, and they have a back marker ahead of them. So if you wanted some action in race 2 here, this is where it's at. This is absolutely crazy. All these drivers so close together on track, and I don't know who's going to win this race at the minute, but Aresh is holding firm, and Zampolini did try and make a move, but it just wasn't enough to get it done. But look at this, first, second, third, and fourth, all literally head to toe here. And I wonder if Van den Ham is going to get an opportunity with Slipstream, if he can get a good drive out this corner. But Zampolini surely as well will try and make a move. But the lucky thing is that yeah, Aresh will probably get a toe on that. Oh, that McLaren there is opted to stay right out of the way. Zampolini, I just don't know if he has the straight line speed in that Aston Martin. I don't know if any of these drivers have, so I think they're all going to have to stay as they are. But you can see that Aston Martin is trying to creep in, but I don't know if there's going to be enough straight here for them to look at this. First, second, third, and fourth. That McLaren is staying way out of the way. He does not want to get involved in that, because you do not want to be the person that crashes into one of the top 4 drivers and yeah, ends their races. But yeah, this is going to go on with 35 minutes to go. Those 4 drivers are going to provide a lot of action. Just going back here, I can see a thing here. This is yeah, Sharp here trying to make a move on Grace. Grace goes really, really wide. He comes back on the track. He has lost that position. He's flashing his lights at Sharp. I don't know if there was some foul play to be had there, but Sharp does move himself up into P10. They are now falling back off the back of De Angelis. He is 2 seconds clear at the front, but it is Sharp that said does make that move, and he does move himself up into P10. So Roger's having a bit of a quiet race by himself, like I said, as well. So he is trying to chase down this Kaspari here. A bit further back, we have, yeah, Prentice on Palmer. But Palmer, he has passed Palmer now, but Palmer does have a drive-through penalty. So he's the second driver of today, does have a penalty. Kops here trying to chase down Caruana. Both those drivers, I think, earlier were 19th and 20th. So they're now currently in, yeah, 16th and 17th. They have a 4-second gap to Llewellyn behind them. So yeah, that's a bit, you know, it's just those two trying to chase down the drivers ahead. As we can see now, Llewellyn is opting to pit. Palmer's going in to complete his drive-through penalty, and Llewellyn is coming in to pit. So we'll keep an eye on that one as it goes on. A bit further back here as well, Duran here trying to chase down Mertens. This is a this is 21st versus 22nd on track. Has the Porsche got enough straight line speed versus the BMW to potentially make a move here? It looks like the Porsche is much better on the brakes, but we do know the Porsche is better in sectors 3 and 4. So 3 and 4, 3 and 1. So yeah, if Duran is going to make a move, it's probably going to have to be in those sectors here. When you get onto that straight, I think the BMW may well pull away. I know the 992 is a little bit more competitive, but yeah, I do think, yeah, it is going to be the BMW is going to pull away. I want to stay with this for a second and see if it is the case. But look at this, Duran is right up behind. So as they go around, oh, he gets a bit of a tank slapper on here. He's going to compromise him a little bit. He does manage to get the run out here. So as you can see, they're onto the home straight now. So does that BMW have better straight line speed, even though the Porsche is in the toe of that BMW? We're going to have a look here now. But it looks actually, no, we might actually see a move here. So it looks like the Porsche does have the speed. Looks like the BMW is running a high downforce setup. So Duran is going to potentially have the opportunity. You can see that Mertens is holding that inside line. So it is the Porsche that's going to go around the outside here. But is, as they come around here, it is, yeah, the BMW that just hold firm. It is hard for the Porsche to overtake here, so because of the straight line speed difference. But Duran here just, oh no! As I said, Duran, he just didn't have, that might actually show you that, though, sorry, that might show you that the Porsche does have a low downforce setup there, because he just lost the back end going around that long right-hander, and that's going to allow Serpentine in behind to potentially catch up here. And whilst we're riding with Serpentine, we will Serpentine, we will go back to the fact, like I said, that there is a few drivers that are on the spotlight, and another one of our Patreon supporters today is Serpentine. So he was actually in the Tier 2 Championship last time out. So yeah, Serpentine here in the Tier 2 Championship. He completed all 9 races, won 3 of them, 5 podiums, and of his 9 races, he finished in the top 10 all 9 times. So every single race last season in the Tier 2 Championship, he managed to finish in the top 10. He obviously won the championship, got 273 points in the process, and as such got himself promoted up into the Tier 1 Championship. And so he's racing quite well. He's in P21 currently, chasing down, like I said, Duran ahead. Duran obviously just had that accident trying to chase down Mertens. But Serpentine here does have the ability to win races and obviously maintain really high finishes. But obviously he is up now in a higher caliber of racing. So you can see here he raced in the Ferrari last season. He's racing in the Ferrari again this season. I think he was in the 512 last year. This time he's in the 215. So he's changed his numbers around, but yeah, like I said, he did have a good race, so a good championship last time, and this is his first outing in the Tier 1 Championship, so we wish him all the best this season. I think he'd be quite happy if he could get himself up into the P10 once this season. So you can see again Duran running wide there, so I don't know if he's just maybe running that Porsche on a bit of a lower downforce settings. So you can see here though that Serpentine is chasing down Duran and Mertens ahead. So there is an opportunity for him to potentially break into the top 20 here. Obviously, there are a few drivers behind him that have opted to pit, so it is worth keeping an eye on that one. But we wish Serpentine all the best throughout this race. I just want to quickly go back to... we can see here that Zampolini has opted to pit. And this could be quite big in the championship. As we can see halfway through the race, a lot of the drivers are opting to pit here. So... we can see Aresh now has pitted as well. So the question is with Aresh coming out of the pit lane, where is Zampolini? So Zampolini is coming around the last corner now. Aresh is coming out of the pit lane. So I don't know if it's going to be Aresh coming out ahead here. So where is the pit line? It is quite a way down there. He's going to start to go up to full speed soon. So where is Zampolini? Zampolini now is coming down the straight. He is going to go side by side, and he does get a better pit stop than Aresh. So Zampolini, who pitted 1 lap earlier than Aresh with the undercut and the fresher tyres, has come out ahead of Aresh and takes back the net race lead here. So that is a big moment in this race with Zampolini passing Aresh. Aresh does have the fastest lap of this race, so I think the other drivers will have to pay attention to that. So out at the front, like I said, it is still Vandenham and V-Spec. So Vandenham has got ahead of V-Spec as well. So a lot of action happening at the front when we were talking about some of the back markers there. But Vandenham has passed V-Spec. So he does have the current race lead. As you can see, V-Spec, I don't know if he's listening to the stream, will know obviously the other 2 drivers and the undercut does work. So this might mean that Zampolini and Aresh will both pass these drivers. So unless you can maximise your advantage when you're out there, it does, it might cost you here. So Aresh actually is 1.2 seconds back from Zampolini. So he's going to have to try and catch him a little bit if he is going to try and capitalise, or try and get the slipstream. So where these 2 drivers will come out in relation to the other 2 will be interesting. But I think based off of the fact that Vandenham did pass V-Spec, that might mean though that potentially... those 2 have squabbled a little bit, and that is going to cost them. Where is Zampolini and Aresh right now? So Aresh has caught up at point 2, so you can see they're coming on the last section now. We don't know what's potentially happened. V-Spec is still in the pit box. He is on near the front, as you can see. So he's going to come out of the pit lane now. Zampolini is coming around the last corner. Is this going to be the Ferrari of V-Spec coming out ahead of both these drivers? I don't know. Let's go and see. So he is, so V-Spec has come out miles ahead. I was going to say the undercut would have happened, but V-Spec here, I don't know what's happened here. So I don't know if Vandenham listens to this. I don't know if they were a bit tentative in their pit box, but V-Spec has somehow come out ahead of Zampolini and Aresh. So that means that Vandenham, if he can get a good lap in now and go in the pits, can potentially come out in the lead of the race. So this has completely switched things around. So V-Spec now finds himself leading the race. That means that if Zampolini and Aresh want to win this race, they're going to have to not only go past each other, they're now going to have to try and get past V-Spec, who now holds, he's got about, what, a 2-second lead at the front there? So I wonder if, Van den Ham is going to pull the plug here and come back. Yeah, he does. So Van den Ham is now coming in the pits. So this is all going to change now. And we might now see the two Ferraris that were in third and fourth might now find themselves coming into first and second. So let's see how aggressive this guy is in his pit box as well. Serpentine as well. So he's just catching up on back of Duran here. So Duran is still holding the back of Mertens, but Serpentine has got himself back up into this battle now as well. And he might potentially be able to make a move. So you can see first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth and seventh all in the pit lane. Van den Ham currently in the pit box, as we can see that Caruana has opted to stay out there, and he now will take the net pit lead of this race. V-Spec now coming around the last sector. We can see that Van den Ham is still stationary, so I want to see when that goes green. So he's coming around the long sweeping left-hander, then into the right-hand hairpin. So let's see where this is going to... Yeah, Van den Ham is still stationary. I think he's had a bad pit stop here by the looks of it, because he's somewhere down the pit lane as well. So you can see V-Spec though coming down the home straight now. Zampolini coming as well with Aresh. You can see that I don't know if Van den Ham's even he's coming out of the pit lane now. I think he's going to lose positions to all of them, isn't he? Oh no, that's Zampolini just behind. So I thought he was going to be losing positions then, but Zampolini, look at this. So V-Spec and Van den Ham sail out for 2 more laps, and they now find themselves ahead of the two people that were fighting out for the race lead. So now Aresh, who was at one point leading this race, well, for most part of that first stint, now finds himself in 4th place. If he wants to win this race, he has to pass Zampolini, Van den Ham and V-Spec. So this has massively changed the order. But look at this, V-Spec has a 3-second lead over these guys. I don't know how much Van den Ham can put up a fight here, but as they come round the straight here, I don't know what kind of speed Zampolini has, but we can see here, look at this, Aresh now right up the back of the Aston Martin. Oh, and he's hit Zampolini there. That is I don't know what's going to happen there, but we just saw a massive crash there. Zampolini, his car is going to be crippled. Yeah, his car is he must have spun into the pit wall there. Big moment in this race here. Zampolini again finds himself potentially colliding with Aresh. I don't know if Aresh is going to get in trouble for that, because it looks like he well, I don't know. Did Zampolini close Lewis? I don't know if you're still watching in the chat, but how did you see that one? Was that Zampolini putting across on Aresh, or was that Aresh quarter panel slamming him there? But yeah, that's a shame really, because that's one massive contender in this race now fallen down, and he's going to have serious damage there. Look, his car is absolutely crippled, so he is going to have to go back into the pit lane and repair his car, but he's going to be probably out of the top 30 by the time this one. Is anyone watching this in the chat that can let me know? But that is huge moment for Zampolini. He collided with Aresh. Aresh now putting pressure on Van den Ham for potentially what will be the net second place here. But that is bad news for Zampolini. We've been robbed of what would have potentially been a really good battle between 4 drivers. He's come across the front of Aresh's car there. Yeah, Zampolini now in the pits, and that is going to be his race over, because that is easily 2-3 minutes of damage he's got on that car there. That car is completely destroyed. What a shame there. But it is now going to be V-Spec, Aresh and Van den Ham. You can see Aresh now got past Van den Ham. Van den Ham here is going to try and see if he can get back past, but Aresh probably just has too much pace for him here. This is Ferrari on 4 power as he goes down the back of Paul Ricard, and you can see here that it just doesn't look like that Ferrari has the speed. Aresh has 4.4 seconds to go to catch up with V-Spec, but it would have been Zampolini's opportunity. So Zampolini's championship so far has been very unlucky. He got pole position in the first race, he crashed on the second corner. He's got pole position in this race, had a chance to potentially win, and now finds himself tumbling out of the top. But yeah, he'll be down back past the 30th positions. Big news out of the front here. Serpentine is currently leading this race. He stayed out for a long stint. He'll be loving this. And Serpentine and Brown here. This is first and second currently. I don't know if these guys are going to opt to pit this lap now. But no, the Serpentine staying out. He's going to be enjoying his race lead here. He's got 11-second gap on the guys ahead. There's a drive-through penalty out there as well. That is for Zampolini. So Zampolini, who looks like he's sped in the pit lane. I'll imagine he's probably going to pull over and retire from this race. So he got a drive-through penalty for potentially speeding in the pit lane there, and he's now, right down the order. So Zampolini here, unfortunately, is going to be one of, it looks like he's probably just quit there, I think. By the looks of it, I can't select his car now. Yeah, so Zampolini has retired from this race, and I don't blame him if I'm honest. But yeah, V-Spec here does have the lead of this race. He is 4.5 seconds clear. And just to mention, there was one other driver to cover today. So he, I don't know if he is a Patreon supporter. Apparently, he's got issues with his Apple Pay, so it can't work. But the last driver we are going to cover today is Rogers. Rogers, who was completely in the Tier 1 Championship last season. He did 6 of the 9 races. He didn't get any wins or podiums. He got 1 top 10 finish, and he finished 17th in the championship with 153 points. Currently finds himself though in P7, and I think he finished was it top 10 last week? He finished in the top 10, didn't he? I think he got finished P7 last week. So last season he got 1 top 10 finish. He now has an opportunity within 2 races this season to finish into 2 top 10s. So he is having a much better season this time out. He is the man responsible for all of the great graphics that we have on our broadcasts. He did all the track the track graphics and everything, and obviously every time you get the race promotions, he does have. He is the man responsible for all of those. So he has just been passed by Grace here on broadcast. So hopefully we'll stay with him. He can make the overtake back. He went wide on that sweeping right-handed. Now forced himself down into P8. But like I said, with only 1 top 10 finish last season and the potential to get 2 top 10 finishes in 2 races, I think he'll be more than happy with that. He is now chasing down Grace here. This is a good battle here for P7 and P8. We'll just ride with him for a second. He does have Sharp behind him as well. I said Sharp, one of the contenders we did say for potentially a lot of race podiums. He is flashing his lights in the background and wiggling his car. I don't know if Sharp can hear us on stream, but he is, flashing Rogers here in the background. Rogers here going to try and make a move on Grace, but he might have to be down the back straight. I don't know what the BMW versus Ford pace is, but these drivers here are all having a good race here. They've got about 9 seconds to Radic ahead, so I don't know if we're going to see them catch up any more than this. So this battle between Sharp, Rogers and Grace might be the best they're going to get today. As you can see, all 3 of them here. They have got Kravec and Kaspari just behind them here. Serpentine, who was leading the race, now finds himself going down the order a little bit as expected. But it is, V-Spec still leading the race, and he has a 4.3 second gap. But we had a 4.3 second gap on Arash. It is now 3.9 with only just shy of 20 minutes to go. Radic here trying to chase down Hooper for a battle for 4th and 5th. Hooper been quietly going about his business here, up into P4 now. 5.5 seconds off of potentially getting a podium. Radic as well having a good race. He did have the pace to potentially have a good race last week, but he did fall out of the order a little bit. So Radic will be looking to get a good points haul here. But they do have a 10-second buffer to 6th place here, so this will be a good battle here between Radic and Hooper for 4th and 5th. Bar any mistakes up at the front, Vandenham struggling to try and catch up with Arash. But let's just go through the order from back to front and see what everyone's doing here. So it is Wazza. There was 35 drivers that started. We have had 3 retirements. Wazza here currently in P32. Was a man we tipped to have a really good race at Paul Ricard. It hasn't turned out that way. Gedman here in P31. He is chasing down Pospisil. I don't know, but Pospisil has a 20-second gap to P29. He's currently in P30. Again, not having a great race out here. Van der Waal is 5.6 seconds back from Delhi. Delhi trying to close down on Hymans here. So this is Hymans versus Delhi. This is about for 27th and 28th. These drivers got caught in a bit of a kerfuffle earlier. We did catch it a little bit of it, or the back end of it on stream. It's just a bit of an accident and caused a bit of a pile up. Hymans, who did qualify in P20, now finds himself down in P27. Paulson here is also in 26th place, 1.2 seconds back from Brown. We will go back to Brown here because he is just trying to chase down Mertens ahead. He was just behind Mertens. As you can see, this is also Serpentine ahead. So this is Serpentine, Mertens and Brown. We will go back with Mertens here because he is just trying to make a move on. Is he going to dive down the inside here? There's side by side here. So this is Serpentine and Mertens. Does Mertens yield a little bit? Serpentine goes wide there. He holds the outside line. These two drivers are going side by side. Looks like Brown's going to try and capitalise as well. Brown is going to try and put pressure on the BMW. He's trying to put pressure on the Ferrari. And then we can see Paulson in the background trying to hope all three of these drivers are going to take each other out so he can get himself 3 places here. But it is, Paulson now trying to put pressure on the Honda. So all 4 of these drivers are weaving side to side as they all go down the back straight. And is that... so that's where's the, how far? No, Duran is 3.3 seconds back. So we can see Brown trying to pressure, Mertens here. Mertens trying to put pressure on Serpentine, but it looks like Serpentine just managed to get a better run out of the last 2 corners, and he's given himself a bit of breathing space. Brown now going down. He's going to try and take around the outside here, but that will give him a better run around the corner. But is the BMW going to hold that inside line? Are they going to come together? Side by side. Does the NSX yield? It looks like he does, and he just tucks it back in behind. Good bit of battling around here. Nelson, who did finish P10 last week, he finds himself in P21 currently. He's 2.2 seconds back on Roberts. Roberts, again, one of the top 10 finishers last week, so we are going to see a lot of jiggling around on the podium. So on the podium, on the top 10 finishers. Roberts here, who did get a penalty early doors, drive-through penalty, now finds himself up into P20, 7.5 seconds back on Rayner. Rayner having a good race in P19, currently 2.1 seconds back on Fast R. Fast R looked like he was going to have a good race today based on his qualifying pace. Fallen back a little bit. King here, a good recovery drive, because at one point he was in the 30th, in the P30 or whatever it is. He's now up in the P17. He's got 3 seconds back on Blair. Blair here is trying to chase down a P15 finish. He's 3.8 seconds back on Prentice. Prentice here putting pressure on Popsh here. So we'll stay with this driver here for a second. So you can see the way the Prentice's steering wheel's twitching around. He is a controller driver. So Prentice trying to chase down Kopsh here. This is Aston Martin versus Ford. As Prentice does, just like he hasn't got the straight line speed on that Ford ahead. So there's not going to be an overtake here, I don't think. As you can see, Kopsh here will just hold that position. And this is good battle for some good points here. But Kopsh has 6.6 seconds back on Caruana. Caruana at one point was P6 in this race. Did show some good speed, and I was going to say he's got 1.1 seconds to catch up on De Angelis. De Angelis, bad news for him. He has got a drive-through penalty. That is good news for the drivers behind. That means people like Kopsh, Prentice, Blair, they're all going to find themselves moving up a position, and Caruana doesn't have to put too much pressure on De Angelis here, because he is going to get that position back. So that is good news for him. I don't know if De Angelis is going to opt to stay out for one more lap. Tulloch here is chasing down Kravex. This is for 10th place here, so this is a battle for 10th and 11th. And also Kaspari just ahead, so Tulloch here does have an opportunity to potentially not only get 10th but can then put pressure on P9. Sharp here is now starting to put pressure on Rogers. We will go inside with Sharp here as he does now. We do know, catching Rogers is one thing, passing him is another. We did say this is the main battle here. This is 6th, 7th and 8th. This is probably the best they're going to get. Although Grace has caught over a second on Radic. So Hooper and Radic currently in P4 and P5. They've lost a second now to this 6th, 7th and 8th battle. But with 13 minutes to go, it might be too little, too late. Sharp here coming down the back straight. Is he closing on that Ford? It doesn't look like it. But Kaspari behind, and Kravic and Tulloch. So this battle for 6th, 7th and 8th might actually become a battle for 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th. So keep an eye on this one. We will just go back through, but it looks like Rogers here got a little bit loose there. But Radic here still trying to get past Hooper. They have caught up a little bit on the drivers ahead, but I don't think, again, it'd probably be too little, too late. B-Spec here, who's having a good race, has now that gap that was 4 seconds, is now down to just over 3. So as they cross the line, can V-Spec hold that gap? It is still 3.1 seconds, but Van den Ham as well is now 3.9 seconds. Looks like he had a bit of an accident there, so he is now fallen off the order. So Van den Ham Looks like he's going to make it 2 podiums out of 2 alongside Aresh. V-Spec in the last race, who finished in 5th, will find himself getting onto the podium. But this is a big move for him, because his contender, who was joint on points with King, has found himself down in 17th place. So DeAngelis is opting to stay out one more lap. He will have to come in this next lap, but Caruana will potentially make that move next time round. Prentice has now got past Kopch. There was the battle for 14th and 15th, and now Prentice has got that move done. As we can see, Kopch is going to try and make that move back past in the next couple of laps. But Prentice has got 7.5 seconds on Caruana, so it looks like this 14th place is going to be the best he's going to get. Obviously, he will get one more place because of DeAngelis drive-through penalty, so it looks like this battle between Prentice and Kopch is going to go on for a while, but we have 12 minutes to go, so we've probably got, about 7 more laps to go. And back up at the front, Aresh now closed that gap to 2.7 seconds. He is going to have an opportunity to potentially challenge for the race win. Let's see what V-Spec's defensive abilities will be when he catches up. But one thing to mention, I don't know if they're going to put it down to a racing incident, but when Aresh and I can't remember his name, sorry, now, but who am I thinking of? I forgot his name. Zampolini, that's it. So when Zampolini and Aresh came together, I don't know if that was just a racing incident, but yeah, we might have a post-race penalty for Aresh, but we'll see that one, see how that goes. But back here, we have a battle for 4th and 5th. That's been going on for some time now. Then we have Rogers, Grace, and Sharp here. This is a battle for 6th, 7th, and 8th. A bit further down, we have Kopch and Prentice. Is there any battles going on down a bit further down? We have Mertens on Serpentine here. So Serpentine is currently leading Mertens, and it is a battle behind as well. We have Hymans and Paulson and Brown. Brown looks like he's lost another position there, because he was ahead of Paulson. Paulson has made that move on Brown, and Brown now finds himself down in P27. Hymans has squeezed through both of them now. He finds himself up into P25. Like I said, he did qualify P20, so he is out of position slightly, but yeah, it is Paulson and Brown that are having a bit of a battle here. This is for 26th or 27th, but looks like Brown can't find a way through. The drive-through has been cleared now by DeAngelis, so he will find himself probably dropping down to the back end of the 20 positions. I don't know, he was P13. Where is he coming out now? Let's have a look. Where is he? DeAngelis was P... Is he P15? Where is he? Where's the 113? So is it... Where's Rain? He's come around that corner now. I don't know. I'm trying to work out where DeAngelis is. So DeAngelis has got to Roberts. Yeah. So DeAngelis now falls down to P19. It gives Roberts something to fight for. So Roberts now in P20 can see a driver ahead of him that he can pass on track. This is the battle for, like I said, 19th and 20th. And then we have Mertens. I'm trying to see if I'm going to miss any kind of action at the back. But back up at the front. It is Aresh now, only 2.1 seconds off of the back of V-Spec. Is there going to be enough time here for him to catch up? So catch up's one thing, passing is another. So we have 9 minutes left. So probably we'll go about 5-6 laps. So, or 5 laps. Sorry, yeah. So is he? I don't know if he's catch up enough per. It looks like Van den Ham is really falling off the back here. Like, I'm just trying to work out where he's gaining about 0.2, 0.3 a lap. So he might get one run on. Well, to be fair, when he starts to get into the slipstream, it will close up. But V-Spec just doing enough here to hold off on Aresh. I don't know if he will catch up. Radish as well. It looks like he has the pace to keep up with, but he just doesn't have the pace to pass. Let's have a look here. So we've got Rogers here. Rogers here on Grace. This is a battle for, like I said, 6th and 7th. It looks like Kaspari has... Well, it was Sharp behind. Sharp must have made an incident here, because Kaspari now is up into 8th place, but he's 3.6 seconds back. So some of these battles are starting to sort of settle themselves a little bit. As we can see here, Radic though, is he making a move here on Hooper? This is, like I said, a battle for 4th and 5th. Either way, both these drivers will have a good points haul, but Hooper here, who did say he had the pace to potentially finish in the top 5, is now, got under pressure. Oh, look at this. So he has left a bit of space here. Don't touch each other, guys. This is so close. Radic here, doing everything he can to get past Hooper. I don't know if he's... I just don't know if that Porsche has the straight line speed to pass the McLaren. So all that McLaren has to do is just hold those tight lines, because we do know. Oh, look how close they're getting. But has Radic got the drive at the last corner? You can see that as soon as they pull out those onto the straights, then McLaren just breaks away slightly, and I just don't think the Porsche has that straight line speed to catch up. But Hooper, who has been defending Radic now for what seems like half a race. So the Porsche has the better brakes. He is better around the slow sections, but the McLaren just has that straight line speed, and it looks like Radic isn't going to be able to get through here. Yes, you can see that he's just so close here, but yeah, it may just come down to the last couple of laps here. So we have 6.5 minutes left. Rogers as well, trying to put some pressure on Grace for the battle for 6th and 7th. And then we have Kravec on Sharp here. This is a battle for 9th and 10th. Tulloch would love to get involved in this and to get himself another top 10 finish on his stats. He just needs to get one more position here. But he does have Caruana just behind 1.5 seconds back. And we do know that Caruana has the pace here. So these guys... Yeah, he's... Prentice here, he's 9 seconds back, so he's not going to get the positions on them. So this is it now, isn't it? So it's Corona in 12th, Tulloch in 11th, Kravec in 10th, Sharp in 9th, and then I think Kaspari looks like he's just got that job done in P8, but he's 3.4 seconds back on Rogers and Grace. So yeah, Radic here, this is the main battle. Oh no, he just almost crashed into the back of the McLaren. He manages to save that car. He just dives to the right-hand side, slams his brakes on. That's going to sort of heat up his tyres a little bit. But Radic, what a save there to not crash into the back of Hooper. That is going to give Hooper a bit of breathing space with 5.5 minutes to go. But yeah, Radic there, what a save to not crash into the back. But yeah, we just see what kind of tyre warmth he's got on in those cars now. And I just don't know if Rogers again has got the pace to get past Grace here. A bit further down the order, like I said, we have King here trying to put a move onto Blair. So King, who was in 17th, has got past Fast R, and he now finds himself trying to catch up with Blair. Now Roberts, who got 2 drive-through penalties last week, now finds himself having 2 drive-through penalties again, so he is not looking good for him. That's 4 penalties in 2 weeks here. He just can't keep that car on the track. But King here has an opportunity to break into the top 15 if he can make a move here on Blair. And Fast Star as well, who's P17 currently. Is he going to try and dive down the inside? So he has a look. Is he going to try and go late on the brakes? And he thinks better of it. Tucks himself back in. This is a Ferrari, McLaren, Ferrari here. So it's the McLaren in between 2 Ferraris. But King has an opportunity to get up into the P15. But with 5 minutes to go, I don't know if he's going to catch up ahead of that, because Kopch is 5.2 seconds up the order. Just going back down a little bit as well. Mertens here, still trying to get past Serpentine. This is about for 23rd and 24th. And then Paulson just in the background here as well. Where is the NSX of Brown? Brown has dropped now back down the order. I think if he's had another crash, but he's now down into P28. Brown is not having a good race here today. He is, he got 4.4 seconds to catch back up on Delhi. Looks like he's having a bit of a battle with Gedman, but Gedman must be a lap down, as it looks like, as it Wazza has potentially retired as well, because Wazza is now out of the picture and is now P30. So he was P32, but now, there's now only 31 drivers. There was 35 that started, but it is now, I'm just going back here because it looks like King is trying to make a move on Blair. But yes, it was 35 that started, but then we're now down to 31 with 3.5 minutes to go. Aresh now has closed the gap at the front to 1 second. So as I think they might have 2 more laps, because it was a 1 minute 53 lap with fuel. They have 3 minutes to go, so as they cross the line, they'll probably be starting their final lap, I believe. We'll keep an eye on it as they come across the line. But we have Jasmine Racing saying hello. Jasmine, who are you following today? welcome to the final part of the broadcast. So we just have 3 minutes to go here. Everyone has pitted, so this is obviously their net positions. But Jasmine, I don't know if you were racing in the other series or are you here to support someone, but welcome to the broadcast. But yeah, Reshia and V-Spec, so it is 2 minutes 40 seconds to go. As long as they cross the line with less than 1 minute 50 to go, that will be the last lap of the race. So Radic, though, will have, one more lap to get this move done, and likewise with Rogers. Rogers will have one more lap to go, I think, to get this move on Grace. And then we'll try and cover a few of the last battles to go. But yeah, it is a V-Spec and a Resh. They're less than a second now. As they come around, we're coming up to 2 minutes to go, so 2 minutes 20. So I don't know if we'll get 2 more laps out of this. We'll find out. Let me stay with this one for a second, and we'll see what time it is when they cross the line. But yeah, because sometimes it doesn't trigger if they're so close to the timing screens. But yeah, you can see Resh flashing his lights. He's trying to do anything he can to distract V-Spec here. V-Spec trying to go for his first win of the season. They're going around the last corner now with 1 minute 55. Yeah, so I think this will be the last lap of the race, because I don't know if they're going to finish this last. Yeah, as they cross the line now, I think this will be the last lap. So, because I think the finish line's up here somewhere. So, I'm not 100% sure, but it's going to be borderline. But I think this will be the last lap. So Resh here, half a second back. Is V-Spec going to bottle it on the last lap, or can he hold on and yeah, not give in to Aresh's pressure? Let's just ride in with Aresh here. So we're coming around the last couple of this is the very crucial corners. You can see, yeah, Aresh right up behind that Ferrari. He has to hold on and get a good run. No, that's good news for V-Spec. So Aresh just slides the car, and that is going to give a bit of breathing space. You can see that V-Spec trying to carry as much speed as possible. He's weaving right to left. They've got back markers ahead of him. So I think V-Spec is going to want those drivers to get out of the way. This is potentially going to be the last lap of the race. You can see that Ford has got the straight line speed. Can he hold on? Look at those drivers ahead. They're trying to. This might be. Is this going to be? We're going to go on to. We'll go on to the aerial cam. Sorry, the aerial cam here. Oh, they collide. So Resh has dived down the inside. I don't know. I think it was that V-Spec going to turn in there. I don't know if that was it was aggressive driving by Resh. I don't know if he's going to yield that position. But yeah, he dived down the inside of V-Spec. I don't know if he was expecting it. Is he going to give that position back? I don't know if he is, but Aresh is going to hold that inside line for the next corner. This is going to go down to the wire here. Aresh holds the inside line. V-Spec going to try and dive back down the inside. I don't know if that was, if there's going to be a potential no penalty there, but if you wanted a good finish, you are going to get it. So Aresh does hold with 2 corners to go. They have got back markers ahead of them. That is Mertens there ahead. I don't know if they said that they're going to yield here. Yeah, so Resh has to slam on his brakes. V-Spec here is going to try and run him down to the line with, yeah, the time has finished, so this is going to be it. It's going to be side by side. There's going to be less than a tenth of a second in it, and as Aresh crosses the line, he does get the race win. Aresh wins, V-Spec in second. Vandenham is going to take 3rd place here. We're going to go to, oh, is this Radic taking the position on the last corner of the last lap? Radic will take 4th place. Yeah, again, aggressive driving there. So Radic takes 4th. Hooper takes 5th. As he goes slamming into the wall as he finishes the race there. Grace is going to take P6 here, with Rogers taking P7. There's going to be a lot to unpack after this race. Kaspari takes P8, Sharp P9, Kravek takes P10, with Tullock taking P11. Caruana takes P12 here. Prentice is going to take a good P13. I think he's going to be happy with that one. And then, yeah, Kopsch will take P14. I think, obviously, there is a few... obviously, I think the driver's probably left already at the front. Obviously, so these drivers are not the right order here. But Blair's going to come across the line next. So see, it looks like King of Fast taking on the last lap. So Blair has lost 2 places on the last lap here. Rayner as well. Looks like he got past DeAngelis. Nelson, who, like I said, he was in the top 10 last week, is going to take P19, P20. I'm not sure exactly on their positions. Duran then will take P20, but I think it will be P21. Serpentine here looks like he is. Is that Hyman's going to take? Is that Hyman's going to take him on the line? They go across the line there. Serpentine just takes it. Paulson will take the next position behind. Delhi then behind him. Roberts, who had 2 drive-through penalties, finishes behind those guys. When Brown, obviously, just his race didn't go as planned, he will finish behind them. Van den Wall here will round out the last few drivers, and it is I think this will be P28. Pospisil will take P29. Mertens will take P30. And I think it is Gedman then that will take. Oh no, unless Gedman's taken Mertens on the last lap. No, he's a lap behind. Yeah, so Mertens will round out the top 30 there. As you can see, Mertens 30th, Gedman 31st, Zampolini 32nd, Wazza 33rd, Palmer 34th, and Llewellyn were the retirees. But there will be a lot to unpack there, guys, because I think we'll go back to the booth here, but I think I don't know if I saw it, but was that aggressive driving by Aresh? I'm not sure. But I will put I'm just gonna put a note in the chat now to tag the guys in, see if we can get some people to come into the commentary box. But that was an epic finish there. But I don't know if Aresh is gonna get a penalty. So it is worth we are gonna have to check it. Let me just see if we can round a few people up. So I'm just gonna message one of the guys. So I'm just asking people to come into the comms box. I'm going to hop into it now and see if we can get a few people to hop in. So it is Aresh that takes the race win on V-Spec on the last lap. And I just don't know if it's going to finish that way. I'm sure V-Spec will mention it or whatever. But it is there's I can see a few arguments popping up in the chats as well. A few people say it was a bit of dirty racing, so we will have to see if we're potentially going to get some drivers coming in and having a chat. But there's a lot of heated debate. But so I don't know. It would be interesting to see if Aresh gets a penalty there. I don't know if he will. And then obviously, because I think the first one with Zampolini, it looked like he did kind of come across the car. That second one, I didn't see it either. I think he just went left, went right, and he dived down the inside. And I think, it looked like a collision, but I think it was just because V-Spec went to turn in, and he probably wasn't expecting a dive bomb from Aresh, but it looked all fair. Raditz, obviously, again, diving down the inside on the last lap of Hooper to our fourth place. So I'm going to see if we can get a few people in the chat so we can have a chat with people. I think we just need to get a few invites. I'm just looking to see what people are saying at the back here. But if you are in the chat, I'll be in the YouTube channel. It would be interested to see your feedback. Did you think those two passes at the end were clean, or do you think there was a bit of dirtiness there? I don't know. I'm just trying to see if we can get a few people into the box. But let's just quickly, whilst we're just waiting for the some people to come into the box, let me just run you through what we have next week. So as we, just gonna let that calm down, and then we'll have a little bit of a review. But so that we have done Masano, but round 2 now, Paul Ricard. We're gonna go over to the Red Bull Ring next week. Not a big track, so obviously that will be quite interesting. Very, very fast paced, very few corners. Obviously, it's all about the speed there, isn't it? Trying to, a couple of, sharp corners with a lot of late braking and stuff. So it'll be a lot of like dive bombs, I think. So it'll be quite interesting to see how that unpacks next week. And then obviously we're going to go over to Watkins Glen for the second of the special rate events the following week after that. And then obviously February 11th we go to the Nürburgring, and then February 18th the season finishes at Paul Ricard. We've got a few interesting races coming up. I like the Red Bull Ring. I like Watkins Glen. The Nürburgring's one of my favourite tracks. The times, everyone seems to be getting better and better at Nürburgring, so they do keep tumbling down. The times they keep tumbling down, I can't get anywhere near the aliens these days. But so today's race was quite interesting, but I'm just going to see if we can get some people to come into the box. I don't know if they have to get invited or whatnot, so there's always a bit of a delay. I'm just trying to see if looks like people are trying to get into the comms box, and then I think there was a bit of a delay last week, wasn't there, trying to get people in, but once they're in, we'll hopefully get an interview. Let me just, yeah, so whilst we wait there, I'm just gonna leave the calendar up for a second. So driver of the day, that's the first debate of the day. Yeah, V-Spec had a solid race. Obviously, he had an opportunity to get onto to have the race win. Like I said, he'd lost it on the last lap. Aresh just really dialed it in. That's potentially 2 wins out of 2 for Aresh there. And then, yeah, just didn't have that pace at the end to close it down. And then, so I'd say he's probably one of the potential driver of the day votes. And then I think, was it Hooper had a good race as well. I think we have Aresh now in the booth. Is that right?
Yeah, hello. Good evening.
How you doing? Good evening.
Yeah, I'm doing good. Quite exhausted, but yeah.
I was gonna say
to finish the race now.
I think we well, to be fair, you're I say not controversy, but you're in the 2 major talking points from the race. So hopefully you can walk us through your perspective. We're going to start with. I just want to ask you. Well, in fact, let's start with the positives. So you snatched the race victory on the last lap. How do you feel? How do you feel about the race overall? And give us your feedback.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm quite happy about the end result, especially with gaining that in the last lap. But yeah, I think there will be quite a few discussions about the race in the next days. And yeah, I mean, there are always two stories about that. I mean, I have my view about the situation, and the other drivers have their own opinion about it. So yeah, I think stewards will decide who was wrong and who was right in the end.
Yeah. So to go on, so I say there was 2 controversial moments, but we'll mention the first one. So obviously there was a big battle in the first sort of half of the race where obviously it was you, Zampolini, V-Spec and Vanden Ham, but obviously coming onto the long straight at the back, it looked like Zampolini was making the move around the outside of you, and it looked like he. You were diving down you caught up with him, and you just pulled onto the inside of him, and it looked like you had it coming together. So what I couldn't decipher from the race, and you can give your opinion on this, is whether that was you tapping inside of him, or whether he came. Whether you were holding a straight line and he came across on you. So I'd be interested to see what your viewpoint is on that first incident.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, it's always sad to see some incidents like this, and I'm sorry about his ending of the race after that moment. I think so that's not ideal. And yeah, coming to my opinion, yeah, I think the Ferrari was on P1, holding the left lane where we were following the Ferrari. The Aston was defending the middle lane, so I was keeping my car to the left, getting the slipstream of the Ferrari, and I think, in my opinion, he moved to the left into my line and catch my front end with his rear end. So yeah, I think it's probably a racing incident, but yeah, if it's my fault, I'm sorry, and yeah, I'm sure it will get reported and penalized if needed. But yeah, I think it's not my fault in the end.
That's how I saw it. I mean, it looked like, I don't think he realised you were alongside him, and I think he just I think he went to close the door before you, because sometimes, as you know, with ACC, on the radar, it will say that you're not actually alongside him yet,
Yeah.
but you are. And I think Zampolini's just been caught out by the radar, and I think he's come to shut the door quickly before you got there. And obviously you already just got a bit ahead of him. So I think it'll probably go down as a racing incident. But the second one, obviously, just to quickly cover, and then we're going to get. I think we have Colpit in the chat as well, obviously from T2. We'll get him invited in a second. But yeah, so the other viewpoint was just the last lap overtake, which looked. Obviously, I switched the camera angle, and obviously you lose a bit on the stream here. But when we came back and when it cut back in, you saw V-Spec just crash into the side of your car, but from the outside. So I think what I missed, but it looked like you just dive bombed down the inside. I don't think he was expecting it. So again, I don't think it was a collision, but obviously, was that just a last minute overtake, or how did that one pan out for you?
Yeah, I think he was defending the right hand or the inside for the fast right hander, and I was slowly going to the left, so he thinks that I'm gonna take the left side of his car, but in the last second I was moving to the right. Yeah, still on the straight, so we were not in the braking zone yet, so it was not a dive bomb. And yeah, I think he reacted to the move, so he was keeping the right hand side even tighter, but I was already on the right hand side to him, so he should have space. Yeah, I think it's just another racing incident, or like small collision, but yeah, I'm sure it will get reviewed from the stewards.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I mean, however you want to see it, it provided an epic finish to the race. There was actually a move as well on the last corner of the last lap for fourth and fifth as well. So you guys providing a lot of entertainment. But yeah, obviously just sort of wrap it up to say congratulations on your race win. Yeah, it was another good race for you. That's 2 in 2. So you put yourself in a really good position now to potentially mount. The title challenge. I think you have to be considered the favourite at this point, but we will see. Obviously, I think Zampolini has got some good pace, so I think he's going to provide you some battles in the future. But yeah, congratulations, and good luck in the Red Bull Ring next week.
Thank you.
And I think we've got Lee Colpitts with us as well. Are you there?
Hello, yep, I'm here.
Yay, it's working. But yeah, so welcome to the broadcast. I understand you have won the Tier 2 race today. So congratulations on that.
No, I was P2.
Oh, P2. Okay, so I thought you said you won. So P2. Okay. Obviously we only cover the race on the T1, but yeah, do you want to just give us a rundown of how the Tier 2 race went and how you finished your P2?
Yeah, well, I'd say my race was fairly good. I quite like Paul Ricard. I get on with it quite well. So I've been looking forward to this race. When I saw it was on the calendar, qualified P2, so started at the front, and I think there's a lot less accidents when you're at the front end of the grid at the start. So I managed to get through the first couple of corners okay, but I ended up losing the place down to P3. Actually, the guy in third swept round both myself and the pole sitter into the lead, but then sort of the first 4 of us kind of made a bit of a break in that first sort of 15-20 minutes. So sat in sort of P3, only about less than 2 seconds off the lead. So literally 4 of us were just nose to tail for a long time. Got the move up at the second when the Porsche Simcox in P2 ran a bit wide. Got through on him, and then made a move on Hanley, who was the race leader, out of turn 2 when he had a bit of a slide. So I got into the lead. Then obviously the pits came round and they both undercut me. I also overshot my pit box ever so slightly, so that probably cost me 2-3 seconds. So I might have come out in P2. I think Hanley still would have been in the lead, but I ended up coming back out in P3 about 4 seconds down. And then it was just a case of trying to chase them back down again. So it was catching Simcox, then he got a drive through, so that kind of took him out of the equation. So it just left me to try and chase Hanley down, and he just didn't put a foot wrong in that second stint. I was just pushing as hard as I could, doing fastest laps of the race, personal best, just taking tenths off every lap for a while. Got it down to about 2.5 seconds, but then it just kind of stalled, and then we just kind of equaled out for the end there. And then about 3 laps from the end, I was just pushing really hard into turn 3, 4, and just the back end just slipped away from me ever so slightly, or just had to catch a big slide, and that was kind of the race done. So just settled for P2.
So it sounds like a really good effort by you. I mean, how did you finish in the first race? How was your championship looking?
It was second again, to be honest.
Okay, cool.
So very, very strong start. Near miss. I mean, Mazzano was probably a more weaker circuit as well. So to get P2 there was a great result. I think the weather definitely played a part. Did it rain last week? I think it rained. Can't remember if it rained now. I know it rained on the Sunday. But yeah, it was so 2 P2s start of the season. So it's a strong start. And it was a different person ahead of me in each race. So I think I might be leading the championship now.
I would say so, yeah, because obviously if you got the fastest lap as well, that means you'd have been joint with the leader anyway. So I reckon that will probably mathematically put you in P1. Yeah, so it looks like so. Although you may finish second in the race, we have got obviously Aresh and yourself here. They're both potentially, barring any crazy penalties, there'll be the 2 championship leaders. So that means you're probably on your way up into the super spicy tier 1 next season for season 17 by the sounds of it.
That was a bit weird. I was in tier 1 last season. I got demoted down. I'm not quite sure. I finished T12 last season as well. So I don't know how I've ended up back in here. Although it's obviously given me a chance to fight for a title, which I'm going to go for with all the gusto I can. But it was my first. I got to do tier 1 last season, and it was a bit of an eye opener. I've sort of only been back in FRL for about 2.5 seasons.
Okay.
So it's kind of been a quick rise, getting up to tier 1. Enjoyed it. It was a good challenge last season, but there's still quite a long way for me to go to sort of be challenging for podiums at tier 1. So
it's a hugely competitive.
For me, the top 10s were kind of the target last season. I think for me,
I say it's a hugely competitive. It's a hugely competitive division, that tier 1. Yeah. But anyway, I'll start to wrap up the broadcast now. But thank you guys for popping in. It's been great to chat to you both. Obviously, so if you feel free, I said you can always pop back in after the broadcast. Obviously, anyone from the top 3 in either race can pop in and have a chat. So great to hear from you. Obviously, good luck for the rest of the season. Obviously, Red Bull Ring next week, as we said. It looks like it potentially has opportunities to rain next week, so we will see. And wish you all both the best, and I'll see you again next time.
Cheers, thank you.
Thank you for having me. See you next time.
So I'm just gonna leave the channel now. Oh, yeah. So they've left for me, but so. That was the end of the interviews, guys. Like I said, that was Paul Ricard. That is round 2 of the championship wrapped up. We now have 4 more races to go. As you can tell, obviously, bar any penalties, that will be Aresh leading the Tier 1 championship, Lee Colpitts leading the Tier 2 championship. We have got Red Bull Ring coming up next week, and join us again same time. It will be the same format as today, so it'll be a 60-minute race, 1 pit stop. So obviously the broadcast, as always, will start at 8:15. The commentary will start about 8:20. I look forward to seeing you all again next time. Thank you for everyone that hopped in the YouTube and obviously had a chat with me. And hopefully I'll see you all again next week. And thank you all for joining us, and bye bye for now.
Pistons pumping, all 800 horses running. Oh man. I fall